Hello all, I am a teacher eating an apple at a school. Is there anything more teachery than this? Probably not the best idea to eat a bite of an apple and then continue recording, but I'm a teacher, I'm also a Christian, and for that reason, I was particularly interested in sharing my thoughts on the hashtag expose schools. Don't mind my random bang over here that will not stay back. Let's get into it.
Now a little bit cozier, you are in my humble abode, and we're going to start off with a little bit of background on what this hashtag is. It was coined by this guy named Chris Stroop, who is an ex-evangelical Christian, meaning he grew up in a Christian environment but left that faith for whatever reason. And I have a lot of empathy for people like that because I know what it's like to struggle with my faith, and I can't imagine what it was like for him to grow up in a Christian environment and to struggle with your faith. And it seems like he also had a bad experience with Christian schools in order for him to share a hashtag like this. But he opened up this hashtag, and the first major issue I saw was, you're asking a leading question. And I get it, if you've had a bad experience with religion and you are no longer religious, that leaves a lot of scars on people. And I have experienced negative impacts of religion, and had it not been for my time in college, I might not be still religious to this day. But when you're writing hashtag expose Christian schools, you're asking a leading question. And with any kind of research, if you're only looking for research that supports your thesis or your argument, you are going into it with the wrong idea. Because if I'm trying to find out if, for instance, college rule notebooks are the best type of notebooks to write with, if I desperately want to prove that and I don't look or try to see the other side, then my evidence will again be one-sided and I miss out on a big part of the story. And that's how people responded. They saw this hashtag and a lot of people were upset because a lot of people had good experiences at Christian schools. I have gone to public school my whole life. I've loved public schools. So I was curious to ask one of my friends who has attended Christian schools to see if she had a good experience or if she would recommend it. And she pointed to the fact that at Christian schools, she was able to get advice. Her teachers would pray for her. And that's something I never had growing up. That's something I never could even imagine doing, going to school in a secular field. But with the same token, there are also negatives that come along with going to a Christian school. And that's where I go to one person's experience can't speak for everyone. At my friend's particular Christian school, she said that there was an overemphasis on sin, and then also a man being a leader over a woman was emphasized a lot. So that's one example for her personally how Christian school wasn't best. And I've seen people tweet about how some Christian schools weren't accredited, some Christian schools were bad experiences, they weren't open-minded and whatnot. But a lot of other people also wrote messages of hope and how they appreciated their Christian school environment. It would be the equivalent of saying expose cameras without distinguishing which type of camera. There are just too many cameras and different types of things to make a blatant statement about cameras overall. And the same thing goes when you're writing a hashtag like hashtag expose Christian schools. And if you were to do the same for public schools, there are so many different districts and types of schools and different grades that it is too blatant of a subject. Although I do understand that it was kind of a trendy hashtag to have, I guess. The next thing I want to say is there is beauty to secular schools as there is also beauty to Christian schools. So I really enjoyed my upbringing as somebody who went to a secular school, but I couldn't go to my teachers and ask for prayer. That would have been weird. And I do appreciate that being in a public school, I am surrounded by other students of different backgrounds and other teachers of different backgrounds. But the same token, even though I appreciate that and I like my upbringing, I remember growing up, some of my teachers didn't believe in God and they were really against Christians, and they made that really vocal, and that was okay for whatever reason. But if a teacher were to be vocal about their faith, I know a lot of people would be upset about that. But when we look at somebody who goes to a Christian school, their teachers are supporting them and helping them in their faith and their walk with God. And I think that has the potential to be something really beautiful for the right type of person. So with that said, I disagree with the phrasing of the hashtag itself, but not the conversation that's happening right now. I think that people in public schools and Christian schools should both voice their opinions about this. And to be honest, I've even considered myself, do I want to work in a Christian school one day? I obviously am very vocal about my faith, so would I like that environment? But being real, Christian schools pay a lot less than public schools pay. So there are different pros and cons to consider when looking into a school like that. And one thing I want to add is I remember not being religious growing up, and I can imagine that maybe being in a public school gave me freedom to kind of think and live on my own without having the assumption being that I'm already a Christian when I was somebody who was struggling with it. And so I can imagine if you were in that environment, it could be really hard. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. Did you attend a Christian school? Did you like it? Did you attend a public school? Did you like that? Whether you're religious or not religious, I would like to hear your reasoning and your response to this hashtag. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I will see you next week. By the way, disclaimer for any of the real MVPs who are watching, I record this video literally once on Sunday, once again today. It came up blurry. I'm recording it again, which is why I look tired and I'm literally wearing my home clothes because I wanted it up. But I hope you guys enjoyed and let me know your thoughts. Bye.